if you're not listening to 2010 Justin Bieber to get your day started, you're doing something wrong. I'm going to be honest with you. If somebody runs out of their house with a samurai sword and they're trying to come at me, I'm just going to take a hard bet here that I can outrun them, and I'm just going to sprint. I am going to sprint for my life and run. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Beyond the BS podcast. We are back, baby. We're back and feeling good, ready to go. It has been a while. It's been quite a while. I'm feeling good today. I'm feeling great. I'm not going to lie to you. This is my second time recording this because, life wanted to throw me for a whirlwind there. Life wanted to throw me for a whirlwind, even trying to come back and record this episode. Wanted to give me a little trick there. I was trying to use my actual camera so we could get a little professional, get a little more professional vibe going on, and it just didn't want to. It just didn't agree. So this is my second time recording this, but we're good. We're good. We're here and just feeling amazing. It's going to be a great day. It's going to be a great episode. And also I am, I said this is my second time recording this. I was going to wait till a few days pass, what I'm doing right now, whatever, because I'm currently here with my girlfriend. We're supposed to leave to go home for Easter, but we're doing this right now because, why not? Why not, right? Yeah. So she's really happy about that, but, it is what it is. So, I have my notes here before we get into it a little bit. Just as a reminder, because we haven't been here in so long, platforms. We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube, Instagram, all that good stuff. So if you're listening on any of that, thank you. If you're not listening on any of those platforms, or if you want to go check out some of those other platforms, that's what they are. That's what they are. So that'd be great if you go check that out. But yeah, we're back. We are back, and we are gonna jump into where I've been, what's going on, why I was MIA there for a little bit and just fell off the face of the earth. And I'm just going to, we're going to run through that for a little bit. But we're also, we're not going to get too serious or too sad on today's episode. I'm not really feeling that. We're not going to get too, down and dirty today. We're going to keep it up. We're going to keep it high. We're going to keep the vibes going. So, yeah, we're just going to jump into why I've been gone, right? So I think the last time I uploaded a video at all was a month ago, and before that, I was pretty spotty. There, and it wasn't great. It wasn't great, and I felt bad because, some people may watch the podcast, they may see it, they may check it out, whatever, and think, oh, it's not that big, it's not that great, whatever, and, it is what it is, but I do have a handful of people that actually do listen to the podcast regularly and enjoy it and would send me messages and stuff, like people I don't know, like random people would send me messages saying how much they like it, they like the message and stuff, and they just enjoy checking it out and watching it and stuff. I even had random people I didn't know that came up to me before and talked to me about that, so it was interesting, and I felt bad. I felt bad for those people because those are the people I want to bring the content to, right? Because you guys like it, you're there for it, you love it, you enjoy it. So that's, that's what I wanted to do, was bring that to you guys. And as you guys know, I absolutely love the podcast. I love doing it. I have absolutely loved everything I've done since I've started this. So it's been great. It's been amazing. But here's what happened. So Cause, who I've talked about on this podcast before, he has his own podcast, Kicking It with Cause. If you want to go check that out, he talked about this a little bit on his podcast because he deals with some of the stuff I deal with. So I struggle with, a handful of things. We don't need to get into that. Struggle with a handful of things, right? And one of the things that I have is ADHD, as you guys know, as I jump around to 30,000 different things a minute. And, it's just a spiral of things throughout the episode. So as you guys know, I have ADHD. And this is something he was talking about because he took a break recently as well and dealt with, I think, a similar thing that I was dealing with. And I know he took this from somewhere else. That's supposed to be a joke or whatever that he took from somewhere else. Whatever, I don't really care. I don't really give a shit. This is what he said. So what he was talking about is, ADHD, and this is my thoughts on ADHD. ADHD, in my opinion, is more of a superpower than anything else, right? It's more of a, I don't know. It's more of a, use it to your advantage. I feel like having ADHD gives me, just a little bit of an advantage to do a variety of things like I've done throughout my life. I've done a handful of different things and, love it, enjoy it. So, it's great. It's great. But sometimes, now this is what he was talking about and this is what he took from somebody else, so whatever. But sometimes it goes from, that quirky little characteristic, to being more of a disability and being more of like I don't know, being just like disabled and feel like you can't do anything, right? So that's kind of where I was. I was kind of in that mode with the podcast specifically, and struggling with a handful of other things as well on top of that I deal with. But and you guys might be watching this, you're like, oh, if you don't have any of the anything to deal with or ADHD or whatever, you're like, okay, well, whatever, just set the camera up, do it, get started. But it's hard. It's hard, because my brain, it's like, I know I want to get on here and record an episode. I'm like, okay, let's go, let's roll, let's get the party started, right? But my brain is telling me, no, sorry, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. And, you're just going to have to deal with that. So that's kind of what was going on. And it kind of just like threw a wall up and it was like, bam, you're not doing shit. So that's what's been going on. So yeah, that's, we're not going to dive too deep into that, but that's where I've been. On top of that, also, the last like 3 or 4 months, I did get into boxing quite a bit. I've been doing some decent, decently, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. So I've been getting into boxing. I've been taking it pretty serious, wanting to get into that space a little bit. So I've been doing that, and that's been taking up a lot of my time in replacing the podcast for the moment. But we're back. We're back, and we're just going to balance everything. We're just going to balance everything. Now, is that like the healthiest option on planet Earth? No. But, the podcast is kind of just like a therapy session. So why not? Am I right? Why not? Like, let's just jump on and let's do it. Let's get the train rolling. So, and I'm not going to lie to you guys. Getting on the podcast today, like I said, I'm feeling great today. I was just blasting some JB in here, okay? We were blasting some JB and just bringing it back to like the 2010 vibes, to get rolling. Because if you're not listening to 2010 Justin Bieber to get your day started, you're doing something wrong. You're doing something wrong. And, I'm sorry. Like, that's just a fact. That's just a fact. We're going to have to get past that. But that's where I've been. That's what's been going on. And yeah, so we're not going to dive too deep into that, but I wanted to let you guys know and give you an idea of what's going on. So past that, we also did a little rebrand, as I'm sure some of you have seen at this point. I put it on all the social medias. Everything should be updated, but I changed like the cover photo and the profile picture, whatever you want to call it, for the podcast. And I think it looks a million times better, especially the YouTube. I think it looks absolutely amazing with how it's set up now. And it's looking great. It's looking great. I'm loving it, and I'm excited to get back. The reason I did that is because with the name Beyond the Bullshit, right? We're getting beyond the bullshit. That's what we're doing. And I felt like the picture that I had before of me sitting on the roof or whatever was just a little too elegant. It was a little too soft. It didn't really fit the vibe. So me and my girlfriend did a little photo shoot, and I think it turned out amazing. And yeah, so, I think it looks great. I think it looks amazing. And, it really just gave me another boost to get on here and let's do it. So that's where we're at. I hope you guys enjoyed that because I think it looks 1,000 times better. I really do. And with the vibe of the podcast, like I said, Beyond the Bullshit, that's what the name's been. That's what it's been since the start. That's what it's going to be through the rest of time, whatever, and with that, what's been running through my head lately, right? And what's kind of been pushing me to get back on the podcast, because obviously I wasn't done. I'm not just stopping the podcast, whatever. It was just a little moment of, needing to take a break there for a second, needing to take a step back and just calm down for a second. So that's what we've been doing. But with the podcast and everything, right? Beyond the Bullshit, I've always been a person that likes to push the envelope, if you will, likes to push the envelope of society and what, these walls, these boundaries that society has created, and that people like to, think is, I don't know, is like a concrete thing that needs to happen, right? So like me, I've got finger tats, I've got hand tats, I've got, a bunch of stuff like that, which a lot of people give me, dirty looks for and stuff like that, and like to act like, really, look at this kid, right? But to me, it's like, okay, you've got one life, right? You've got one life, and you never know when time's up. You never know what's going to happen, okay? So you got one life, you might as well live it. So that's what I'm doing, right? I'm trying to live my life. I'm trying to chase happiness. That's what I'm trying to chase. I'm not trying to chase money or anything because, you know, you can't take money with you when you're gone, and you can't do, it is what it is, but money is not going to really make you happy. It's just not. So I'm trying to chase happiness. I'm trying to do what I want to do and just create content for you guys that I think, is funny, can get a little deep sometimes, can help you guys with whatever you want to do. And eventually we're going to move on to the next topic that's going to get into us. But eventually, and I know I've talked about this before, but start to bring on some more guests, try to get some, decent names on here to get people on the podcast and let you guys hear their stories and stuff. So, that's where we're at. We're just trying to push the envelope, right? Because we're trying to say, hey, look at this. And I know I've talked about this before because it's the setup of the podcast, right? It's what I've talked about since the start. And you have to kind of picture the new profile or the new cover art with it, which I'll probably put up on the screen so you guys can see it on here. But it's like, hey, fuck everything else. This is what we're doing, right? And we're gonna get down, we're gonna get dirty, and we're gonna, we ain't holding back. That's what it is. So that's where we're at, and we're gonna have a good time. So going past that a little bit, some more fun news that I wanted to let you guys know about is, we've been on this little set for a while. We've been on this little set since the start, and it's good. It's done me good. It's done me great, but it also kind of sucks. I'll be honest, it kind of does, and it is what it is. But I'm gonna be moving soon. I'm gonna be moving. And we're going to have a new setup, and I think it's going to look 10,000 times better. I think it's going to be amazing, and I think it's going to be a lot better for guests and just a lot more professional vibe, okay? So that's where we're at. I'm going to be moving out with my lovely girlfriend. We're very excited. We're very, just wanting to do it now, but we have to wait a few months, do a few things, figure some stuff out, and so we're going to be moving here in a few months. So here in a few months, we'll do that. And we'll be in a new setup, and I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be absolutely amazing. So, yeah, here in 2 months now. But also, I'm currently broke. I am, I'm broke at the moment. So I have to work my balls off the next few months to be able to move. So that's where we're at. But, we're doing good. We're doing good. So, yeah, that was the other big thing is that we're going to be moving, and maybe we'll bring her on here at some point. We'll see if she wants to do that. Yeah, we'll see about that. We'll see if she wants to come on here at some point and do something with that. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for the future of the podcast. I'm excited to move, excited to start that whole new journey, and just kind of get a fresh start going because I think it's needed. I really do. I think it's going to be a great little journey, right? So, yeah, I'm trying to think if I hit everything I wanted to hit to start off the episode, and I think I did. I want to talk a little bit more about the future of the podcast, since I took my little break and everything. So, I'm getting back on it, people. I'm getting back on it because I think truly I do believe through I have a bunch of background stuff that I do with the podcast, obviously, trying to figure out sponsorships, guests, all stuff like that, and I think here soon I will be able to start making money on the podcast, which is amazing. Not just because, I want to say, I'm going to start making money off this, whatever. It's because that will allow me to take more time for the podcast, to create more content for you guys, and really start to do what I want to do, what's going to make me happy, and what will hopefully make you guys happy in the process. So I'm getting excited about that because I just went through a whole little thing with the podcast, trying to get some stuff set up, trying to do some sponsor stuff, and I think here soon, if I can get back to where we were, if I can get the viewership back, because I think what a lot of people don't know about the podcast is, when you look at the actual video views, right, the video views aren't too high. It's like 30, 40, 50 views of video, right, which, it's decent. We started from scratch. We started from zero. But what people don't realize is that the shorts, the YouTube shorts and stuff, we're getting thousands of views, thousands of views. So in the first month of the podcast, the first 28 days, I had 32,000 views just on YouTube. And then, a handful more views through Instagram and TikTok and all that. So that was pretty crazy. It was pretty crazy stuff. And if I can get the viewership back to there, bringing those views in through even just the shorts, and eventually get the videos up there. But just the shorts and stuff like that, I could definitely start making money off this, and that'll be amazing. So yeah, I think that's what a lot of people didn't realize, that the podcast was at a decent point. But then I wanted to, deal with be thrown for a little loop there. And yeah, so now we're gonna work to get it back to where it was, and just keep the thing going, because here's my goal, right? Here's my goal. My dream job in life would be this podcast, right? And I truly do believe I can get it there. I truly do. I do believe I could get it there to where it could be my job and I could do it. Because like I just said, first 28 days, I had 32,000 views. Like, that's insane. So, I mean, I think I could truly get it there and eventually, make it like a full-time thing, travel the world, get people on the podcast that want to come on and start to do something like that. I think it could be sick. I think it could be awesome. And I could provide you guys, some sick content for you guys. So that's the goal. And we're going to make it happen. We're going to make it happen. We'll see, we'll see what happens. So yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to start the podcast off with. I did realize that the stories I had, because like I said, this is my second time recording this. So when I was using my camera, my plan was to use my phone to pull up the stories that I saved. And unfortunately, I don't have my phone anymore. So that is interesting. We'll see. I don't know. We'll figure that out. But yeah, that's what I want to start off with. Let you guys know where I've been, what's going on, what's the plan with the podcast. And I also will say real quick before we move on to the stories and stuff, which if you made it this far, hey, nice, thank you. But we're about to get into some more fun stories and stuff. So what I also wanted to say was these next couple months before I move, like I said, I'm gonna have to work a ton. So the upload schedule is gonna be a little interesting. It's gonna be a little sporadic. And it may not be great, but once I get moved and everything, we're gonna be back on it. Amazing. And yeah, so I just want to let you guys know about that. But now we'll get into some stories. We'll get into some news, just swirling around right now. And let me see real quick. Let me see if I can do something to pull these stories up. Yeah, that's not gonna stop recording. Da-da-da. Okay, there we go. Yeah, we'll see if I can. Let's see here. Hannah, could you do me a giant favor? I'm gonna send you these stories real quick, and I may need to use your phone super quick. Not now, but when I get to them. So I'm gonna send you each of these real quick, if it's gonna let me. And we will just use your phone to pull them up. Okay, I didn't put that in there. Let's see. Okay. And one more. That's not what I meant to do. Let's go back. Do that. Okay. 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 Beautiful. Okay. So we will pull those up on her phone in a second. But first thing we're going to jump into, I don't even need my phone for, right? Because I did some research on this topic. I did some research because, I was pretty hurt. And I was pretty, I was confused. I was spiraling. I was really just thinking about all aspects of life when I heard this. Because this topic, this little story we're going to get into is, it's a deep one. It's a deep one close to my heart. And it's about an icon, an absolute icon in Hasbulla. If you guys know Hasbulla, which I'm guessing you do, because he's really just an angel to this planet. So Hasbulla is getting a little heat at the moment. He's getting a little heat for apparently, what I saw, the labels and what people were saying is that he beat the shit out of his cat. Okay. Now, when you hear that, you're like, okay, Hasbulla's 1 foot tall and probably weighs 20 pounds, and he has baby hands. So there's really no possible way Hasbulla could beat the shit out of his cat. Celebrities literally let him come up and punch him in the face. So, that was my first thought, really, because, I'm here to support Hasbulla, right? I'm here to back him up. And I know on Impulsive, Jeff Wittick was talking about it, and he said, Now don't, he said the same thing. Don't hate on him. Don't hate on me, right? I'm not here to support animal abuse, but I'm also not here to support Hasbulla getting canceled for not abusing his cat. But from the research I did, it was his cat peed in his food and he was like punishing the cat, which kind of sounds like it needed to happen. So I don't know, but I know Jeff Wittick was talking about it and he made a good point here. Hasbulla hitting a cat, I mean, that's practically him punching a tiger in the face. That's what he said. Good point. Good point when I see that, right? Because like I said, Hasbulla's about a foot tall and weighs probably 20 pounds. So, I mean, that's kind of like him punching a tiger in the face and really risking it all just to, try to train his cat. It's because there were a few videos I watched that was him hitting his cat, right? When I was trying to research this, trying to figure out what it was. And I think I found the right one. Like, I tried to just find, like, the worst possible one I could. And it was like, if the cat peed in his food and you need to train the cat, like, I don't have cats. I've had dogs and stuff, and I, like, you obviously have to train a dog. So I don't know what you do with cats, right? I'm not a cat person. I'm a dog person, so I don't know. But I feel like if a cat pees in your food, you have to train the cat, okay? And then that's not abusing the animal. That's trying to train it to know it can't take a piss in your food. So I don't know, that's where I was with the whole deal. That's my opinion, is let's not be absolutely stupid and try to cancel this little tiny angel of a person because he was trying to train his cat, okay? Because the guy obviously loves his cats, okay? He has multiple videos of him loving on his cats and loving them, and they go like everywhere with him, so he obviously loves his cats. So I'm gonna have to call bullshit on that whole story. That's just me. But yeah, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at with that whole deal. I just wanted to touch on that and let you guys know, I'm backing Hasbulla. I'm backing Hasbulla 1,000%. So yeah. The next story I had, which I may need your phone for this, if you could toss that to me real quick. Oh, thank you. Let's see here. So the first story I had, is coming out of Arizona. It's coming out of it. There we go. It's coming out of a Dairy Queen in Arizona. Okay. Now this story has a few aspects to it, a few angles that I find pretty interesting. So first off, we'll just read like the starting sentence here. So a giant red spoon that was stolen from an Arizona Dairy Queen and what? Okay, I can't read. I'm sorry. I cannot read. I am like a child. Okay, let's retry this. A giant red spoon that was stolen from an Arizona Dairy Queen and sparked a mystery on social media was found Monday morning. And here's where it gets interesting, okay? It's partly thanks to Pokemon Go. Okay, now when I hear that, it's interesting because me personally, I haven't heard of anybody talking about Pokemon Go since probably 2016. That was probably the last time I heard anything about Pokemon Go, and that's probably because, the things that happened, like people running over people when they're playing Pokemon Go because they're not paying attention to the road and shit like that. So, that's probably why Pokemon Go isn't a thing anymore. But apparently, here in 2023, people are still playing Pokemon Go. And I've got to give it up for those people, really, because that's consistency like no other. That really is. If you're still playing Pokemon Go here in 2023, I've got to give it up for you, truly. It goes on to say, here's where it gets interesting again, another interesting point here. It says Michael Foster, okay? Now, I'm not here to hate on anybody, right? I'm not here to hate on anybody. You do you live your life, and you do what you want to do. But Michael Foster, 52 years old. 52 years old, okay? Now, Michael, listen, like I said, I'm not here to hate on Michael. I'm not here to hate on Michael or anybody. But you're 52 years old playing Pokemon Go. Hey, you do you, But, that was just a little interesting to me. That was a little interesting. Playing Pokemon Go on a Monday morning at 52 years old. Hey, whatever makes you happy, Michael, you do you. But it says Michael Foster, 52 years old, was playing the outdoor mobile game when he spotted the 15-foot spoon around 7 a.m. So Michael Foster is 52 years old, walking around a school. It was at a school. Walking around a school at 7 in the morning playing Pokemon Go. That sounds like the life to me. That really does. Pokemon Go at 7 in the morning. You know, Michael had to have gotten up at 6 a.m. and probably been out. He probably got up at 5. He probably got up at 5, took a shower, ate breakfast, and was at his house by 6 playing Pokemon Go and found the spoon at 7. So it says it was lying on the ground behind a fence that surrounds a Phoenix Middle School baseball field just 2 miles from the scene of the heist. So this story, obviously sparked a lot of interest in Phoenix, where there must not be a lot of news if they're going to call a Dairy Queen spoon missing a heist. That was interesting to me as well. Now, here's my question, right? How does a 15-foot spoon, 15 feet, okay, that is pretty damn big, 15-foot spoon, just go missing, okay? I might put the picture up on the screen. It was hung on the side of the building. So how does somebody rip a 15-foot spoon off the side of a building, steal the spoon, and there's no footage, there's no nothing, nobody knows what happens? That's what's interesting to me, because you know what? Saying that out loud, that sounds like a heist to me. That sounds like a top-of-the-line heist. If you're going to pull that off, whoever did this, I don't know, I don't think they've caught the person, but whoever did this, banks in the area might need to watch out, because that's some legit stuff right there. It then goes on to say, this is a quote from Michael, "The first thing I did was send a picture to my wife and said, 'It's the spoon.'" That's all he said, okay? That is all Michael said was 3 words. "It's the spoon." That, it's a groundbreaking story when you can text your wife and just say, "It's the spoon," at 7 in the morning, and she knows what's going on. That's some pretty incredible stuff right there. She went on to call the police, and the Sergeant Bryant Bauer in the area said that he can confirm the Dairy Queen red spoon was located and recovered. So that's good. It says detectives are continuing to search for the suspects who took the spoon, and police are encouraging the public to submit any tips. It also just wanted to add in there that a school maintenance guy pushed the spoon over the fence so that the police could get it. So shout out to the school maintenance guy for pushing that over the fence. Don't know why they needed to add that in there, but hey, shout out to him. I don't know who this is. This is they're just adding random details in here. It says, "I set it down. They actually did the lifting after we got it over the fence," Foster said. "They strapped it to the top of a police cruiser." Okay, who really cares about those details? Okay. One guy did finally come by and was like, "Is that what I think it is? Yeah, that's the spoon." Okay, so now we find out there's probably another guy playing Pokemon Go at a middle school at 7 in the morning, and he also came up to Michael and asked if that was the spoon. I mean, this is some incredible stuff, I gotta say. But yeah, that's the spoon story. Pretty interesting stuff coming out of Arizona. So I just thought I would throw that in there, I thought that was pretty interesting. And like I said, to the people out there, wait, is there more to this story? How is there more to this story? Okay. So it says they did get footage that showed 2 men and 1 woman getting the spoon out of its base and put it on a large flatbed connected to a pickup truck. And they said to get that spoon delivered and installed, it cost over $7,000. That's interesting. That's an insane price to get a spoon put on the side of your building. And it said they even made T-shirts for the staff to wear that said, "Where's my spoon?" That's incredible marketing right there. When you can take a spoon that has been stolen from the side of your building and turn it into an ad campaign. That's amazing. Give it up for those people. But yeah. They say they're happy to have their spoon back and are looking forward to the neighborhood creating more smiles and stories with this now world-famous spoon. So congratulations to Dairy Queen, and he also wanted to throw in the end here that Dairy Queen is known for their soft serve blizzards. So, okay, great. So that was the first story we wanted to go into. I feel like that one was pretty solid. The next one we're going to move into is another news story here. I don't know where this was. Let me see. Oh, this was in the UK. Okay, that makes sense actually. That makes sense, and you'll see why here in a second. So, A Monopoly game gone wrong. That's what happened here. Monopoly game gone wrong, and a samurai sword fight broke out in Brussels. I personally don't know where Brussels is. I've never been to the UK, so, whatever. But if you're in Brussels, and, you're pulling a sword fight out because of Monopoly, honestly, respect to you. Respect to you big time. So, we all know Monopoly has been a game for a while that has caused, a lot of issues. Like, Monopoly has torn friends and family apart, and, it's been a game that is really driven by hate. So, we all already knew that. I feel like everybody already knows that about Monopoly, right? But this is what it says. The street where the game had taken place was... I'm sorry, this is not funny. This is not okay. The street where the game had taken place was left with large stains of blood after the violence broke out at 5 a.m. on Sunday. Okay, first question. Reading the first little sentence there. Who the hell is playing Monopoly at 5 a.m. on a Sunday? Who is getting... I mean, they had to get up before 5 a.m., so they're up at 3 or 4. Who is getting up at 3 or 4 in the morning to play Monopoly? What is wrong with people in Brussels? Please, let me know, because that's my first question here. It then goes on to say, the trouble reportedly started on the forest area of the Belgian capital at about 5 a.m. on Sunday when residents became annoyed by 4 people playing the board game on the pavement outside their home. Now, I don't know, if the people were being loud. I mean, it is 5 a.m. I don't know why you're playing the game at 5 a.m. out in the middle of the street. That's interesting. That makes, really no sense to me, but that's interesting. But it's also interesting to me that this man was, for some reason, mad that people were playing Monopoly in the street. Like, what is the hate towards Monopoly? I'm interested. I'm interested in hearing this. But it says, a man came out of his house, apparently brandishing a stick, and got into an argument with the Monopoly players. Reports say that the resident's son then came outside armed with a Japanese samurai sword in its holster. Okay, so that jumped pretty fucking quick, okay? That went pretty quick. So... this guy comes outside. I'm going to be honest here. I have no idea what brandishing means. Do you know what brandishing means? No. So we're probably just idiots. But, I have no idea what brandishing means. But this man comes out of his house brandishing a stick. Who knows what that means? And then seconds later, his son says, you know what? I'm going to go grab my samurai sword real quick, and we're going to take this up a notch. So he goes and grabs a samurai sword. It says, during the scuffles that followed, the katana sword became exposed after the sheath was allegedly removed by one of the Monopoly players. Okay, now I'm interested. So what seems to happen here is, so what happened is the sun came, this just all blew up in seconds, is what it sounds like. This all just exploded in a handful of seconds here. So it says a player. So one of these random Monopoly players tried to grab the katana and remove it from its holster. The son tried to get it back. Okay, so that's already... there's a sword being fought over. That's already terrible. There's an ad over this next part, so I can't really read it. It says, it's thought that the son and one of the Monopoly players were injured by the blade. Well, no shit. I'm going to say if the street's covered in blood, somehow somebody was injured by the sword. But it says the Brussels Midi, I don't know if I said that right. I'm sorry if I didn't. But the Brussels Midi police confirms 2 men were taken to the hospital. The Monopoly player was later discharged, local media reported, but the resident's son was said to be in a life-threatening condition. Okay, that, I honestly didn't know that. So we're going to backtrack for a second, and, even though the kid did it to himself, okay, you ran out in the middle of the street with a sword. You kind of did it to yourself, but prayers up for the kid. We're going to hope he's okay. Both men were also arrested. Okay, so that's just, that's expected. The area along the street where the game had been played by the group, which consisted of 3 men and a woman, was left stained with large patches of blood and scattered with Monopoly cards after the confrontation. Okay. I'm not going to laugh. I'm not going to laugh, even though that's kind of yeah, we're not going to laugh because the kid's in life-threatening condition and there's really no update on here about what happened. So, that is sad. But what happens? What's going on in life to where you have to push a Monopoly game that far. I'm a little confused, right? Like, and I'm going to be honest with you. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. I was going to say something, but I'm not going to say that anymore because it was in the UK, so they don't have guns in the UK. That makes sense. But I'm going to be honest with you, if somebody runs out of their house with a samurai sword and they're trying to come at me, I'm just going to take a hard bet here that I can outrun them, and I'm just going to sprint. I am going to sprint for my life and run. That's all I'm going to do. Because I don't really feel like trying to take the blade from the person is a real great idea. So, me personally, I would just turn and run. That's just me. But, yeah. So that was that story. A lot of crazy things going on in the world. That was that story. That's what I would have done. And yeah, I don't know. A lot of these stories are still just, kind of mind-boggling to me. But we're going to take our quick break real quick so I can make sure everything's going, everything's good, and we are 100%. And then we're going to jump into another story that I think you guys are going to find pretty interesting. So I'll be back in 1 second. Okay, we're back, and we're going to jump into this last story I had here. I did my notes pretty good. I wanted to make sure I had a good episode coming back. I don't know if they're going to stretch all the way, but they stretch a decent amount, so, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Getting into this last story here. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I was taking my notes pretty late at night, and I didn't actually read this article. I just saw the title, and I put it down. So, I'll just read the title to you guys so you can see why it kind of grabbed my interest here and why I put it down. Sniffing other people's sweat can help treat social anxiety, study suggests. That's interesting. That's some interesting stuff right there. So here's what it says, and like I said, I haven't read this until now, so we're all in the same boat here. Using mindfulness as an anxiety therapy could be more effective if participants sniff sweat at the same time, a new study suggests. Now, the study's coming out of the UK, another story in the UK, so, should we take stories, I don't know what I'm saying. Should we trust the sniffing sweat situation from the same people that are fighting with katanas in the streets over a Monopoly game? Who knows, Who knows? But we'll see what the article says. Sniffing other people's body odor may be able to help treat social anxiety, according to new research. So pretty much, I've read 3 little paragraphs or sentences so far, and they've all been the same thing. So, okay. Armpit sweat was taken from volunteers who watched each other happily... Wait, what? Armpit sweat was taken from volunteers who watched either happy or scary film clips, including Mr. Bean's Holiday, Sister Act, and The Grudge. Okay, so now I'm just confused why we're watching. What? I'm a tad bit confused here, but that's fine. The samples were then used alongside more traditional mindfulness therapy to treat social anxiety. So, okay. The study revealed mindfulness was more effective when combined with sniffing the body odor. The study involved 48 women who suffered from social anxiety, some of whom were exposed to clean air and others to body odor. I don't know. Okay, I don't know who's signing up for this. Like, who are these volunteers? I wish it said what they got paid. They had to have got paid for this, but how do you even find this? What are you doing that you're like, oh, here's an ad. You're like, okay. Like, how are these women searching the web and they're like, oh, sniff sweat, help with social anxiety experiment. Okay, sure. Yeah, I'll do that. Why not, right? I don't know. That seems a little interesting. But patients who completed a mindfulness session while exposed to body odors saw a 39% reduction in social anxiety, while without body odor, there was a 17% reduction in anxiety scores. That is an insane difference. I'll be honest. That is a pretty large difference there. So now I'm kind of intrigued. Now I kind of want to try this myself, and see what's going on. Because 17% to 39%, that's a pretty big difference there. The researchers believe there is something about human sweat that affects the response to treatment. However, said more work is needed to confirm the link. Well, yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree with that for sure. They thought there might be different effects on treatment depending on the volunteers' emotions, while perspiring, which is why they got them to watch films, to elicit particular feelings. However, the effect was the same, whether the sweat giver had been watching a comedy or horror. Yeah, because I really don't feel like that's going to change much. But lead researcher Alyssa Vigna from the, oh goodness gracious, Karolinska Institute in Sweden said the team was a little surprised by this. It may be that simply, this is a quote from Vigna here. It may be that simply being exposed to the presence of someone else has the effect, but we need to confirm this, she said. Social anxiety is a mental health condition where people worry excessively about social situations. Okay, no shit. According to the NHS website, there are currently a number of treatments available for the conditioning. Oh, okay. So, here we go. So, what I got from the article is you brought 48 women into a room to watch different movies and sweat. You collected the sweat, and then you put them in a situation where they were feeling social anxiety, and then you had them snort sweat. Okay, that's interesting. Okay. I don't really know how to feel about that. Now, like I said, the difference there is insane. Maybe I need to start sniffing sweat. Maybe that's what I need to do if my anxiety raises, just sniff some sweat and see what happens. But, I don't really know how much I trust this. I don't really know how much... Yeah, I'm not sure. That's interesting, and I don't know how to feel about that. But, it really grabbed my attention just reading the article. So, yeah, I'm going to be honest with you guys. That's my notes right there. That's what I've got. We've definitely not hit the time limit yet, so we're going to have to go a little longer and just to work off the top of our head here like we usually do. You guys know how the episodes roll. And I have absolutely no idea where I'm going to go with this. You got any ideas? You got any stories or anything? Yeah, I'm getting a death look because she wants to leave. She wants to go to my parents' house for Easter right now. So any ideas? Nothing. Death-defying silence here. Anything. Any stories? Oh, these are falling off my head now. Any stories or anything that's happened over the last month? No. Okay, well, that was a lot of help. Oh, yeah. Okay, we can talk about that. So we've been doing I'm not saying anything, man. Okay, so, we've been doing some door dashing or Instacarting, whatever. I don't remember which one we were doing. But it was decently late at night, and it was pretty dark. So it's pretty dark, it's late at night, and we pull into this apartment complex. Now, it doesn't look the nicest, right? It doesn't look like the nicest situation that we're pulling into. But we pull into the parking lot, park, and we're trying to figure out where we need to go or whatever. We're sitting there. Now, Hannah gets scared by a lot of things in general. So this was interesting. I can't tell this story how I usually would because it wouldn't be allowed on the internet, unfortunately. But so we're just sitting in my truck trying to figure out where we need to go, and all of a sudden this man comes out of the shadows and tries to get into my truck. He tries to open the door and tries to get in the backseat of my truck. So I was like, holy shit, what's going on? I'm going to have to fight somebody. Hannah's like freaking out because she's afraid of people. Because she's afraid of people. So she was freaking out. What it came down to was, we think he thought I was an Uber, which I don't know. We think that he thought that I was an Uber. I'm not really sure. I just looked at him and I was like, what do you want? And then he just left. So I'm not really sure. But that was something interesting that happened. I don't know. Do we have any other interesting stories from delivering stuff? I feel like we definitely do. I feel like something else definitely happened. I don't know. Yeah, I got free groceries because I forgot stuff. So I got a gallon of milk. I got orange juice. Oh yeah, I got detergent. Yeah, so just the essentials, really. So that was pretty solid. I feel like something else happened. I don't know. Not too sure, but really, we have no stories from the last month of life. Wow. Wow, that's great. As you can tell, we are really fun people. Um, I don't know. I don't know. We got new tattoos. As I got my finger tats, she got a head tattoo on her hand. That was her first tattoo. So we did that. She cried like a little baby. No, I'm kidding. She didn't. It's her first tattoo. It's her first tattoo. So just know that. I don't know. I don't know what else has been happening. Like I said, we're heading home for Easter. I don't know when this episode's going to come out. Probably after, or definitely after Easter. Um, so happy late Easter to everybody. Hope you're enjoying life. Hope you're doing good. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't have a lot of things. I'm gonna start doing because I think to my stories and everything usually take me to this point, and then I have to babble on about a random crap the entire time. So I think what I'm gonna start doing is putting Q&As or like getting you guys to send in some crazy takes or something on Instagram, and then I can add those into the end. So we're gonna start doing that, but I didn't have a lot of time with this episode because I just wanted to do it because I was feeling great, wanted to get on here again. So we'll do that next time for next episode. But dang, I don't know. I don't know. I feel so boring right now. I feel so boring. I don't know. Nothing's really happened. Nothing too crazy. Yeah, we're boring people. We're boring people. That's sad. That's really sad. Oh, that's what happened. We can probably touch on this in another episode, but I'll just touch on it real quick to share a little bit of the story. We had a little party, a little get together, like what, a couple weeks ago? Yeah, like 2 Fridays ago. We had a little party, we had a little get together, okay? And there was some drinking involved. We're having a good time, and usually I don't have to worry about like anything too crazy happening because I can usually drink a decent amount and not have to worry about anything because that's just what happens. I've never gotten too crazy. Like it doesn't push me past my limit. Well, I think what happened was I got food poisoning from Taco Bell. So thanks a lot, Taco Bell. Shout out to you. I think I got food poisoning from Taco Bell, and that didn't mix well with the alcohol because I barely drank anything. And I spent the rest of the night barfing my guts out for probably 2 hours. It was disgusting. Yeah. I was outside with Jimmy. I was outside with Jimmy. This is gonna be a little disgusting, but I'm just gonna share the story. I was outside with Jimmy. Like I said, I've never had to worry about getting like too messed up from alcohol or anything. So he's telling me to try and throw up because he could tell I wasn't looking good. It's not really working. Nothing's really happening. I can't make myself throw up. He's like, okay, listen, you're just gonna have to gag yourself because you got to throw up. So I shove my fist down my throat, gag myself, throw up about 5 or 6 times outside. Go inside, find Hannah, sit with her for a little bit. She eventually takes me downstairs into my room, and then I start to have a mental breakdown, throw up again, and my body starts to shut down, and I start to just sit there shaking like I'm gonna die. So Pasty, Jimmy, everybody had to come in and kind of make sure that I was okay and make sure that I was alive. So that was fun. That was interesting. Nothing like that's ever happened before, and I really hope it never happens again. I'm gonna be honest. Because like I said, I've never really had to worry about anything like that. So that was interesting. It kind of sucked. I kind of felt awful, but yeah, we made it through, and I'm alive, and I'm feeling good. But yeah, I'm not sure what the time is, but we'll probably call it good there because I don't really have a lot more to get into. I just want to come back on here, get an episode going. Let you guys know what's been going on, share a few funny stories with you guys, and kind of just get back into the groove of everything because I haven't been on here in so long. But hey, we're back, baby. Like I said, we're back. We're going hard again. Back, loving the podcast. Like I told you guys, the future's bright for the podcast. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to get the train going again and start to really push and do as much as I can with it. So, like I said at the beginning of the episode, going to be moving soon. Could not be more excited for that. Wish it was happening sooner. But yeah, I think we're going to wrap that up there. I hope you guys have all enjoyed episode 16. Let me make sure I have that right because I actually got it wrong on one of the last episodes that I did. Yeah, episode 16. I hope you guys have enjoyed episode 16 of the podcast. Thank you all so much for listening. I love you all. And yeah, hey, get ready because we're back on the train, baby, and we're going hard. Love you all. Thank you so much for listening and subscribing and supporting. You all are amazing. And yeah, I'll see you next week. Peace.